Nobody could have predicted that Apple, which began as a modest personal computer startup in the 1970s, would eventually grow into the most prominent tech firm in the world, ultimately turned into the first business to ever surpass a $1 trillion market capitalization. After releasing its first computer more than 10 years ago, Apple has continued to lead the market via relentless innovation, with the release of fresh models of the iPhone, iPad, AirPods, and MacBooks each year. Whenever it comes to product development, Apple is continuously establishing new benchmarks, delivering unparalleled user experiences. But how did Apple succeed in becoming the modern-day worldwide phenomenon it is? Let's explore. Everyone is aware that Steve Jobs was Apple's brilliance, but most people are unaware that Jobs and his pal Steve Wozniak built the framework for their business together. In 1976, Jobs and Wozniak decided to alter how people saw personal computers. The company created the Apple I, its first computer, employing Wozniak's technological know-how. Jobs was in charge of product development and marketing. Apple made enough money from Apple I's straightforward user interface to pay for the equally successful Apple II, their second computer. The Apple II's iconic light construction and specific yet revolutionary design contributed worldwide to the company's success. Jobs and Wozniak struggled to expand their company despite their early success. Because of a severe lack of innovation, their new goods, like the Apple III, never indeed took off. Apple's lack of innovation paved the path for rival tech giants like IBM and DEC to dominate the personal computer industry. While other businesses strove to create more powerful computers offered to individuals for personal and professional usage, slaying two birds with one stone, Apple's computers were seen as a luxury item. The Macintosh was the product that Apple ultimately introduced in the 1980s after overcoming its initial roadblock. The Macintosh was a huge success, despite it taking some time for revenues to increase because Apple prioritized its user experience beyond everything else. The Macintosh was intended to be the first successful personal computer with a built-in screen, mouse, and graphical user interface. Since the Macintosh was such a success, businesses like Microsoft began constructing their computers using ideas taken from Apple. Despite these achievements, Steve Jobs was forced to depart Apple by internal administrative problems. Consequently, a guy called John Sculley was designated as CEO till 1993. To everyone's amazement, Apple kept becoming better under Sculley's direction. The corporation prioritized innovation above all else and worked tirelessly to develop upgrades for its existing popular items. The corporation made significant strides with innovations like the handheld Macintosh, laser printers, PowerBooks, and many more. Since Apple products were all regarded as premium goods, they were sold for astronomical sums. Apple was in even more problems at the same time, as this helped the business regain its lost financial stability. People who couldn't buy Apple rapidly began to have access to less expensive computers that ran Windows as time went on. This proportion was high enough even for Apple to begin losing money to rivals using the Microsoft user interface. The Windows operating system gradually replaced the industry standard, putting Apple vulnerable to total bankruptcy. Sculley resigned in 1997 to grant Steve Jobs complete control of the business as a consequence, and the decision paid off. Being the marketing wizard that he was, Jobs dramatically changed how people perceived Apple. He made certain that each and every product his business offered gave its customers a unique experience. Jobs simultaneously began one of Apple's most effective marketing programs for the newly created Mac and coined the company's catchphrase, "Think different." The campaign's premise was that Apple provided an experience for those seeking something out of the usual. The Mac was one of the market's trendiest and most user-friendly devices by 1998. Everyone who desired a computer flocked to Apple, and their desires were immediately satisfied. But it was only the start. The best choice Apple has ever made may have been to bring Jobs back. Because Steve Jobs elevated Apple to a pinnacle no one has ever been likely to reach with the inventive decisions he continued to make for the business. Steve Jobs aspired to do something more, despite Apple having had great success with its individual products. It is why he established what he dubbed the Apple ecosystem's underpinnings. Apple developed groundbreaking devices including iPod, iPad, and ultimately the iPhone in 2007 while adhering to the same ideals of user-friendly interfaces and distinctive experiences. The iPhone has gone on to rank among the most recognizable phones ever made. During a period when users of Apple products such as Macs and iPods already existed, Apple's competitors, including Motorola and Sony, faced stiff competition with the arrival of the iPhone. Another wise decision made by Jobs was to connect all of these goods through a single interface and provide coherence across all Apple products, anything never before carried out. Apple customers may easily access and move data between their various Apple devices without any hiccups. People invested all of their money in the corporation because of how simple buying Apple products was, whether it was through iTunes, iBooks, iCloud, or Apple Pay. Around 2010, Apple bought a voice assistant innovation that had been created in California over a 20-year period by Dan Kitlos, Tom Gruber, Adam Chair, and their group. The function, known as Siri, has subsequently grown to be synonymous with all Apple products. One of Apple's first significant purchases was Siri, and the corporation opted to invest around $200 million in the program after seeing its potential. InSense, a high-dynamic scope or HDR photography company located in the UK, was purchased by Apple later that year. Apple's iPhone 4 introduced HDR photography as a function that gave consumers the ability to create the distinctively high-quality images for which the company is recognized. When it comes to the company's success with the iPhones, these two purchases turned out to be wise decisions. And in terms of commercial tactics, Jobs chose to shock his devoted fan base with something that no other computer firm had ever done. Although he had originally created the Apple stores in 2001, by the 2010s, they had expanded beyond being simple retail establishments. People may enjoy the whole Apple experience at an Apple store, giving them a fully immersive experience and significantly boosting their revenues. There were roughly 460 Apple shops worldwide in 2015, assisting Apple in capturing the global market as well. Not only that, but the company's expansion into Asia and Africa created employment prospects for individuals all around the world. This increase was intended to provide Apple with a varied staff on which to base consumer experience judgments that would satisfy many types of customers. Steve Jobs led the business as its CEO from 1997 to 2011 and contributed to Apple's continued dominance of the market. Apple continued to be the best tech firm in terms of profitability and stock price even after Jobs' passing because of the solid foundation he established for the business. Tim Cook, who has continued Jobs' legacy, is currently running the business. Along with fresh and inventive debuts such as the Apple Watch and the AirPods, there are often updated versions of devices, much like iPhone, iPad, and Macs. Apple has maintained its position as the leader in technology. Apple made the decision to increase its user base and introduce products like the Apple TV in 2019. This is a well-known on-demand streaming platform that goes with Apple products, along with Apple Arcade, which is anticipated to be one of the best video game services in the world, whereas rivals to Apple, including Samsung, have caught up. Before they can claim the same cult following like Apple, they do have a ways to go. Apple's success has been attributed to a consistent strategy. The business depends on ongoing innovation. Apple is said to have brought more than 100 businesses as of the year 2020, and its shares are presently worth about $200. Apple is expected to reach $1,000 per share in the upcoming year due to the company's continued performance, making it a viable investment. From being a modest maker of personal computers to ruling the tech industry, Apple has traveled quite a distance. Apple became the trillion-dollar corporation it is today because of its ongoing product and service development strategy. Apple is a firm that has endured all of its dark days, economic downturns, and creative slumps several decades just after its founding, simply because it used excellent business practices under Steve Jobs' charismatic leadership. And without it, it's reasonable to predict that Apple will remain dominant in the worldwide market in manners that we couldn't even fathom in the future. Thank you for watching. Did you think Apple was a company you should trust with your device choices? Leave your answers in the comments section below, and we'll discuss your feedback. This is the Technology Zone. And please remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon to receive future updates, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one, so be inspired.